This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there.
So if I were Candace, I would be at least a little concerned. I know she's a little pit bull, right? And she likes to bully her way in conversations. Here's the problem, Candace, is you've done a lot of talking on the internet and you've put out a lot of tweets. And if little old me, nobody, can find this stuff and catch you on your, you better believe that a team organized to do so is definitely going to be able to do it. So let's go ahead. Let's just jump right in. Let's jump right in and get to these few little lies that I've caught Candace in. You guys ready?
She has claimed that foreign aircraft have followed Erica Kirk around the country and that Turning Point has lied about this happening.
Definitely never said Turning Point lied because you never responded.
First lie.
Another possibility is that a military jet, particularly one from a foreign country, would likely be equipped with encrypted satellite-based communications capabilities. If you wanted to make an untraceable phone call, as an example, that would be a good place to do so because only the NSA would be able to intercept that call. And it's pretty obvious that the deep state doesn't seem particularly interested in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So that'd be a safe place to communicate on that plane. Like I said, these are our options. What we can do now, however, is we can add this to our list of verifiable Turning Point USA lies because I'm going to count this as a lie by severe omission.
Let's go ahead and play that back, shall we?
On the country, and that Turning Point has lied about this happening.
Definitely never said Turning Point lied because you never responded. What we can do now, however, is we can add this to our list of verifiable Turning Point USA lies because I'm going to count this as a lie by severe omission.
Number one, let's keep going.
She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take over for him if he died.
Never happened. Then they were going to tell Americans, as Pastor Rob McCoy did, that it just so happened that Charlie Kirk kept notebooks and diaries. He was so diligent that he wrote down his succession plan featuring who he wanted to take over for the organization in the event of his untimely death. Like, you know, he just, in the third notebook, he was like, oh, and if I accidentally get shot on campus, here's what you should do. Call Erica. And then after you call Erica, come find this notebook. And in this notebook, you'll see that I am using adjectives like fantastic and heroic to describe Mikey McCoy. And if during this process of our imagination, common sense comes on and we're like, oh, but wait, Charlie, wasn't he like a boy genius? He's a pretty bright kid. Wouldn't he have maybe formalized that succession plan outside of like a diary? Maybe call one of his many lawyers, maybe formalize it in a will, because that's what you're supposed to do if you are thinking about dying and you need to make a plan. You make a will. I'm sure he had a will. But no, he wanted to put it in these notebooks. And then the plan was to guilt us, I think, to try to haunt us with the ghost of Charlie's notebooks that we're never going to be allowed to read, but we're supposed to accept that they most definitely read, like for sure. That's what it feels like. Do you agree? I think their thought process was it will be much easier for us to control the spirit of Charlie Kirk than the actual living, breathing Charlie Kirk. That's the vibe that I'm starting to get as I keep discovering all of these strange anomalies.
All of his wildest dreams for this organization and more. He left me a blueprint in all of his journals, but more so than that, I was his vault for literally everything. He shared everything with me, his vision, his dreams, and I know now more than ever, I mean, he was always a hard worker, but now more than ever, he's up in heaven orchestrating and sitting and strategizing, and I can just feel it. I can feel it.
Sure sounds like she's calling them a liar.
She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to ensure that he died.
When you say suggested, it means that they are interpreting my words. What I said is another fact. They did not issue him first aid when he fell down. There was nobody who pulled out any gauze and tried to stop the bleeding. And they've admitted to that. In a sit down with Sean Ryan, Brian Harpole said it was because of the severity of the injury.
Is that what Brian Harpole said?
And so I initially dove down on top of him and just was on him almost face to face. And then when I was doing that, I went down, I could see the wound. And so I immediately shoved my hand into the wound to stop the bleeding, just trying to find the pressure. And it was coming out still. And I'm on top of him, like close. And it was still coming out enough that I guess it squirted through my fingers and I could taste it on my lips. And so I was like, man, this is a bad wound, right? And so I was just pushing that, and I don't know at that time. I know when you look at the clock, I was on him within 5 seconds and had my hands in him. And then I don't know when I put the first piece of medical on him. It was sometime after that, because I carry it right here. And that's why you carry it on you. You got to have it there. So. But then I remember pulling back away and thinking, damn, this is bad. Like it's coming out. And I don't remember saying this, but the guys told me, and you can kind of see it on the video. I said, prep the car. And I just prepped, and you see the two guys just take off. And that car's prepped in position, but what I mean, doors are open, I mean, the whole deal.
Not sure. Did you guys hear him say that they didn't render aid to Charlie immediately? Sure sounds like what he's describing is them rendering aid to Charlie immediately.
She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera. She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses male interns.
Okay, so yes, the SD card thing is unbelievably suspicious. It's not something that you would do. Neither would you just run up onto a grassy knoll and record yourself. Again,
I'm wondering why the SD card thing is so suspicious. Somebody explain this to me, if you can. Why is it so crazy that they would go, this is close-up footage of an unaliving? We should probably secure that. Why is that's suspicious?
Okay, I'm going to answer Bronson. He didn't ask me, but I'll answer him because I've heard Candace explain this, and this is her thinking. She thinks that the camera is more expensive than the SD card inside of the camera. And that's her logic, that you should be, instead of worrying about what's inside of the camera, i.e. the SD card, you should have been worried about the camera. And she's really trying to show that they were worried about something minuscule when they had something really big that they should have been worrying about. That's her logic. I'm not saying it's right, because we all know that the cameras are more than likely insured. So if somebody steals the camera, you can go ahead and file an insurance claim. If you lose that SD card with the up close footage, you can't get that back. That's why. So, to answer the question, I know he didn't ask me, but shout out to Bronson.
And didn't they show her some of that footage?
Allegedly.
The rear footage? So she knows they have it. It's not like they erased it or it just disappeared. And it was turned over to the FBI. So why is that so suspicious?
these are unusual actions. And rather than trying to pretend like it's normal to record a selfie video of yourself and to prematurely announce that somebody is dead, maybe you should answer why.
That is such a silly thing, to prematurely announce that somebody has been unalived. I've said this before in other videos. I guarantee you 90% of the people that saw that close-up video of Charlie knew right then and there that he had been unalived. So he didn't prematurely announce anything. He had a reaction, and it was
shout out to Vicky. Vicky said it way better than me. Shout out to Vicky. I spent all those words. You know, I'm over here using all these big words, all these long words, and Vicky just said it real simple. The footage more valuable than the camera. Come on. Shout out to you. Absolutely. Vicky Call Air. Shout out to Vicky. Let's go.
the same reaction that I'm willing to bet at least 90% of the people who saw that video had, and he saw it up close and personal.
All of that took place because you guys told verifiable lies about why that took place. Because don't forget, Andrew Colvett sat next to you and said it was because people were stealing. If people were stealing, you probably would want to grab the very expensive cameras and not the SD card.
That's a complete brain dead thought to have. That in that moment on that campus, the most valuable, or one of the most valuable things on campus in that moment, is that video footage. What is she talking about? Makes total sense. I'm sure they have equipment, and their equipment is insured. Do you know what's not insured? That SD footage that's on there. If that disappears, it's probably gone forever. Or somebody's going to make a grip of money off of it. So no, those cameras in relation to the value of what's on those SD cards it's not even close. So no, it makes total sense that they didn't give a crap about the cameras, that they were most concerned with the SD cards. This is just, and she knows this. Candace isn't stupid. This is just a stupid talking point that her followers would, you know what I mean? Like, she can trick her followers into thinking this is a good argument, and it's not.
Suggested that TPUSA faith-affiliated pastors, like theologian Frank Turek, who we'll have on in a moment, and Pastor Rob McCoy, are part of a military, quote, infiltration of Turning Point, either because they are veterans or because they have family members who are.
Yeah, so I do believe the Calvary Chapel, their history with Chuck Smith, the evidence that it was a militant CIA effort to infiltrate the Christian faith and to tie the Christian faith to the political ideology of Zionism. I think there's a lot of evidence for that, and I'm happy to discuss that in a broader debate.
I think that's a little silly. Just because, from my understanding, right, I'm pretty sure like Rob McCoy and Frank Turek, these are evangelical pastors, right? And I'm pretty sure evangelical pastors, and you guys can look this up if you want, definitely fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure evangelical pastors have always been very pro-Israel. I don't think this is not a new thing. This isn't like an infiltration that's just recently started to occur in the evangelical sect of Christianity. Pretty sure they've always been pretty pro-Israel. This is, in my opinion, a nothing burger. She will not be able to connect any dots of any of this to anything having to do with Charlie Kirk and what happened to him on September 10th. This is just dumb. This is a Catholic attack on evangelicals, in my opinion.
I do think that things at Turning Point USA became a bit problematic when you started to, I would say, almost hijack genuine Christian faith and sort of roll it into this idea that you must support Israel in order to be a Christian. That's kind of floating into more opinion, but I think well backed by the facts of the founding of the Calvary Chapel Church during the decade of the 60s, where the CIA was really just spiking the ball on Christians in general. Let's keep going.
Even if not everyone has been named specifically, though, Candace has effectively tarred everyone here with complicity in Charlie's death by repeatedly saying he was, quote, betrayed by, quote, everyone.
Sorry, that was a dream that I had, and it is...
Because that's not a defense. Hey, I said a thing, but it's based on a dream I had. Charlie was betrayed by everybody. And then she continuously brings that phrase up multiple times. So she does that episode where she talks about this dream that she had the night before and that Charlie was betrayed by everybody, right? So this was a tweet that she put out, and then she did an entire video on it. And then this has also come up again and again and again. And most recently, just a few days prior, where Charlie was betrayed by everybody and I have the proof. And then she doesn't show any proof. But like maybe you can just be like, no, I'll defend that because it's a dream that I had and I'm just telling you about a dream. I think that's a little disingenuous. I think that's in bad faith. And I think that just shows her character a little bit.
Is also a realization that it has been months. people at Turning Point USA are in.
When she, but if you're noticing the body language, when she is confident that she hasn't done anything wrong or that she hasn't done what they are accusing her of doing, she talks quicker. She's much more assertive.
Shout out. You know what? I like this guy. Shout out to everybody who told me about Bronson. I don't know. This is my first time watching this video. I've never seen him before, but he definitely has done his homework. Shout out to him. This is a great content creator. Can the mods please make sure that we drop his link in the chat so people can go check out his full video without me adding my little color commentary? This guy, he knows what he's talking about. Shout out to him.
When she's a little unsure, or you can see maybe like, oh crap, they might have got me on that one, her tone shifts. She talks slower. She's a little softer, right? She still sort of has that like smart ass vibe, but it's toned down a lot. So just keep paying attention to her body language.
Possession of text messages the day before Charlie died, in which he wrote out to you, and not just to people that work at Turning Point USA, but also security guards, that he thought that they were going to kill him tomorrow, explicitly. I find it highly unusual.
I want to see that. I absolutely 100% want to see that Charlie Kirk explicitly said to them in a message or whatever she just claimed, that I think somebody is going to unalive me tomorrow, with that specific word in there, tomorrow. I don't believe that exists. I think this is made up by Candace. I could be wrong. But okay, I don't know if it's made up by Candace. I think Candace might believe it, but I think somebody told her this and made this up.
Either way.
And until I see that that's actually verified, there's no way that I'm going to believe that. Because if Charlie Kirk is explicitly telling people in his organization that I feel like they are going to unalive me tomorrow at the UVU event, I would assume that security would have caught wind of that. Nowhere in either interview on the Sean Ryan show or on Paramount Tactical does Brian Harpole mention anything about Charlie Kirk saying he felt that he was going to be unalived at UVU. That's insane. And for her to keep pushing this without any type of verification is, I mean, it's like I can see you bringing it up like, hey, I heard this is a thing. Can we verify this, please? TPUSA guys, is this true? I would like to, at least while I'm looking for facts, figure out if people that are sending me information are kind of leading me on, or if this is actually real. That would be the responsible thing to do, but nah, that doesn't, you know what I mean? That doesn't sizzle.
She has said.
Let me also point out the reason Candace doesn't do that, because she doesn't verify her facts. If you say something that aligns with what she believes already, that's why I believe her tip line is punking her. I believe it because they keep saying things that she wants to believe. I want to believe this. Oh, somebody just affirmed or confirmed or gave me more insight on what I want to believe. I'm going to bring it up again. The whole Egyptian plane thing was from the tip line. And they kept feeding her lines that she wanted to believe. And so therefore, that's how she got here. I believe that somebody told her that and she ran with it and she didn't verify it, because we've seen this already. She doesn't verify things, but she'll say that she did. That 920 email. I'm just going to leave that out there again. Let's go.
Charlie's murder, quote, had to be approved by Charlie's friends, and then suggested those friends might have her murdered too for, quote, knowing the truth.
So you notice that's like a Snopes tactic. When he says the quote, it's actually not a full quotation. I never said that, obviously, in the context that he put it in, that Charlie's friends, quote, had to know he was going to be murdered. Did I say the sentence, had to know he was going to be murdered? Perhaps, but we're going to need to hear the full sentence.
No, actually, Candace, you didn't say that. Let's see what you actually said, shall we?
I took a big risk to tell the truth, and my hope is that you will at least check me on it. Analyze and verify the flight patterns.
I want the email so bad.
So, I think we know why Cash Patel is out, right? I mean, I read this, checked it, verified it, and I just want to know why, Charlie. I want to know why the decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends. That's all I have. I want to know why.
What? And okay. All right, Candace, what context was that in? I would really like to see you defend that and try to explain that away as to how that statement, I want to know why the decision was made to unalive Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
What's the context?
Explain that context, Candace. How is that possibly saying anything other than exactly what it says? I'm going to read it again for you guys. You guys ready? I want to know why the decision was made to unalive Charlie Kirk. A decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
Because you're trying to context it in a way that is just untrue. And I don't think it's necessary. If you're willing to have a conversation that you need to lie about anything that I've said, people have watched the show. They know exactly what I've said. And I tend to stand by what I've said. And
You are correct, Candace. People know exactly what you said. Good luck explaining that one away. You screwed up big time on that one. Big time.
Candace has made other stranger allegations involving French paratroopers in maroon shirts, Egyptian Air
Shout
Force
out to the
planes flying out
Maroons.
of Provo, Utah, and potential underground assassins traveling through unseen tunnels. At one point in early November, she started wildly throwing suspicion on members of Utah Valley's soccer team for wearing hoodies. I could go on. There is always something new coming up, and none of it ever pans out because from the start, there has been nothing there.
okay, so no matter how many times you keep pretending there's nothing there at the Egyptian plains, the whole internet understands that there's something there at the Egyptian plains.
No, the whole internet does not understand that there is something there with the Egyptian planes. Sorry. A good chunk of the internet thinks you're completely nuts and thinks this whole Egyptian plane thing is stupid and doesn't tie into Charlie Kirk and what happened to Charlie Kirk on September 10th in any way, shape, or form.
Saying that I went after somebody for wearing a green hoodie is not true at all. We never even covered the green hoodie people on this show.
But you did.
I shared
Yeah, you definitely went after green hoodie people on X so
Yeah, you
much
did.
to the point that they had to like come out and be like, no, look, it's just me. We just wear goofy stuff sometimes. That's it. We're part of the soccer team. Like, no, you definitely sent out a massive witch hunt on X for the people in the green hoodies.
a picture when somebody asked for a picture because they were trying to investigate and identify everyone who was there, which is valid. And the person wearing the green hoodie was not even upset about it. He responded.
I don't know. I
So-
don't know how valid that is. Can we do that? Like, as people, we can just demand things from the public
Say this part.
with
this
no
part.
type of authority whatsoever. It's
That
just
part.
if there's enough of us, it's mob rule then. So I can get my mob together and like, yeah, I don't know. That just doesn't seem okay. That doesn't
not.
pass the vibe check, Candace. That as long as I have a big enough mob, we can just kind of do what we want and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, I don't like that thought process at all, Candace.
That has nothing to do with me whatsoever. And by the way, it would probably feel better to the public if you guys were the ones that were asking questions about who was there on that day. I completely stand by what I said about the people that are wearing maroon shirts. They are going
I disagree. I'm actually quite okay with them not pressuring and going on this psychotic witch hunt daily and pulling pictures of people in green hoodies and going, find this person now. I
That's
must know
crazy.
everything that they've done over the past 6 months. No, I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with them leaving that to the authorities.
And even worse than that, it's not really something. Please keep in mind, Candace's investigations will lead to nothing. Anything that she finds, what is she going to do with it? What is she going to do? What's going to happen? She's already said that the Utah's police force is corrupt. The schools is corrupt. The Fed is corrupt. Who's she going to give it to? What's she going to do with it? What? It's already an exercise in futility by her own admission. She done excoriated everybody. Nobody can be trusted. So then what are you going to do with the information when you find the quote unquote truth? You'll put it out there and everybody going to look at you and say, what? What are we supposed to do with it? Nothing, because nothing's going to happen. But you know what we are going to do? We're going to say shout out real quick. I'm going to finish up with Bronson. I like that guy. Shout out to y'all. Whoever told me about him, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
If we get to the point and we get to a trial, okay, and we see the evidence and we as the people decide that something's not right, then I think we should start probing things. Then we can start pushing things. But we haven't even had a trial yet. We haven't even gotten to see the case against Tyler Robinson. Why can't we just wait for the case against Tyler Robinson first and see what comes from that before we start going on these crazy witch hunts? What's the rush? What is Candace going to solve, really?
Come on.
You think Candace is going to solve this?
There we go.
Let's say that there is a conspiracy, right? Let's say it doesn't involve Tyler Robinson. Let's say Tyler Robinson's a patsy. You really think Candace is going to find the You think the internet is going to find the answers? You don't think a professional conspiracy cover-up are going to be able to whitewash pretty much everything? The only thing you're going to come to is we don't know, but we know. Like, that's the best you're going to get. However, Candace is going to make a fat amount of money off of doing that.
Two, I will guarantee you, represent a military unit somewhere. I'm very close to figuring out exactly which military unit that was. Again,
Very
trying
close.
to gaslight
Very
us
close.
and pretend we're
Always close.
conspiracy theorists or like that's stupid. Not a good long-term strategy for Turning Point USA.
I think it's the best long-term strategy for Turning Point USA.
I agree.
I 100% think that is the best thing they could do, is just laugh Candace off. They're not choosing to do that. I disagree with the route that they're taking. I strongly disagree with the route they're taking. And I'll explain why. Because there is nothing that Turning Point USA can do right now that's going to convince the people who believe Candace
Correct.
to not believe Candace anymore. It doesn't matter. If Candace goes on this live stream with Turning Point USA, and let's say that Turning Point USA bodies Candace, right? Bodies her, kind of like that CNN interview.
I ain't heard that
Where
one
it
in a
just she just is fumbling over her words. She almost has to have a defensive posture, and she has to start bullying her way through the conversation. Even if that happens, it won't matter because they'll be able to twist and spin. They'll be able to clip. They'll be able to take things out of context. They'll be able to do all of that anyway. All they are doing is giving these people more stuff to grift off of. So there's no good that's going to come from it. It won't matter. I guarantee you it will not make a difference.
Wow.
If anything, it's just going to lead to more questions, because the fact of the matter is, guys, TPUSA doesn't have all the answers. So what's the point?
Come on.
If Candace comes with a question and they just don't have an answer for it, well, okay, that's suspicious. How do you not have an answer for this question? Probably, I guess that means you're guilty. I guess that means you're hiding something. I guess that means you're lying about something through omission. It will do them no good. And I understand why they're doing it, right? I think these are good people. And
It's a danged if you do, danged if you don't. And by the way, real quick, somebody asked what's the name of the channel. His channel is Bronson. I just dropped the link in the chat. I believe the mods have dropped it. I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.